What's going on, everybody? Eric Luvano here, and if you're brand new to the YouTube channel, my name is Eric Luvano. I've been an independent ATM operator since 2016, generated well over $1 million using this business model I'm about to show you right now. And most importantly, I've helped over 2,100 individuals start and scale their very own ATM business. So check it out. I'm going to go over the ATM business model. So if you're brand new into the business, you're checking it out for the first time, you're trying to decide whether or not this business model is for you. Let me explain the business model, and I'll show you why I fell in love with it so long ago and how it's giving me the ability to just live life on my own terms. Obviously, it's a business. You have to put the work in. It is a hustle, right? But it's a hustle where you're not starting at zero every single day. That's why I love this business, and you'll see in a little bit. I'm going to go into the ATM business model. Check this out. There's 3 things that you need for the ATM business, okay? Number 1 is you need an ATM business bank account, okay? Now, believe it or not, this is probably the most challenging part of the business, right? One of the most challenging parts, because a lot of banks do not take on these types of business accounts. Reason number 1 is you are competition for the bank. People are using your ATMs rather than theirs, right? Number 2, banks like you to keep your money inside the bank, right? In the account. I'll show you in a little bit that, a lot of the times you're going into the bank withdrawing money to load your machines with. And that basically means that the bank can't make money off you if your money's not in the account, right? What banks usually do, how they make their money, is that they lend your money out, right? And charge interest on that, okay? Whether it's, mortgages, whether it's car notes, right? They lend money out. When banks have money liquid inside the bank, they see that as a liability. They have to lend it out as fast as possible, right? Because they're responsible for that money. So they have to go out there, lend it out as fast as possible, and make money on your own money. A lot of banks do not like ATM businesses. They don't take them on. We have that on lock. I have a preferred bank that I use that helps all my students get approved within 24 hours to open up their accounts. This is number 1. Step number 1 is open up your ATM business bank account. The other thing that you need is anybody who uses your ATM, let's just say this is your customer, has to be connected to a financial institution, aka a bank, okay? They need to have a bank account, right? Anybody who uses your ATM needs to have a bank account. And number 3, the most important one, is you need to have an ATM machine, okay? Basically break down how this business model works, how you get your money back, answer any questions. And if you guys do have more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll get to them, okay? For this example, let's just say you loaded your machine with $100, okay? That's your $100 that you work for. You loaded it with $100. Along comes a customer. Let's just say, for instance, this is Bob. Bob needs cash. Bob needs cash right now. Bob is nowhere near a bank, right? He sees your ATM. He approaches your ATM. He puts in his debit card, types in his PIN, accepts your transaction fees, aka your surcharge fee. And for this example, you're charging people $3 to use your machine. Okay. Anytime anybody uses your machine, you're charging them $3. So he accepts that he's going to be charged $3 to dispense. Let's just say, for this example, Bob needs $20. So he agrees that he's going to be charged $3 for dispensing $20 from this machine. Now, once he agrees on that, your ATM automatically is going to verify with his bank that Bob has the funds in his account. If Bob doesn't have that $20 that he's trying to withdraw from your ATM, it's going to decline the transaction. But if Bob does have the funds in his account, your ATM is basically going to dispense whatever he requested, as long as he has it in his bank account, okay? Once that's requested, Bob's bank account gets debited $23. That's your initial $20 that he dispensed, right? As well as that $3 that you charged him to use your ATM. His bank account gets debited. Your bank account gets credited. It's $23. So as soon as it dispenses, Bob's bank account, your customer's bank account gets debited, your bank account gets credited, right? And then you just repeat this process over again, right? And the cool part about this is that you're just recycling your own money, right? You're going in, you're loading your machine up with cash. People are dispensing it. As people are dispensing it each and every single day, those funds are going back into your account within 24 hours. You're going back into the bank, taking that money out of the bank and loading it inside your ATM. And you're repeating this process over and over and over again. And as you can see, you're just recycling your own cash. And why I love this is because when you own ATMs, guess what? You are becoming a bank. Meaning, think about what you're doing here, right? You are lending money out. What does a bank do? They lend money out, right? And they charge interest to get it back. And so you are charging an interest to lend your money out, and you're just recycling your own cash. So look, if you had $5,000 to $10,000 saved up in your account right now, your bank account is making you zero return on your investment. It's making you zero. Now, let me break down really quick what the return on investment is for an ATM machine so you can have a better idea. The industry standard is you want to have at least 5 transactions a day. Okay? You want 5 transactions a day. You want 5 people to use your machine. Let's just say you're charging $3 per transaction, right? You're doing 5 transactions a day. That comes out to $15 a day. Okay? Now you do 15 times 30 for 30 days. You're making around $450 a month from one ATM. Okay. Around there, right? You could be charging $3.50. That's what I charge, $3.50. But let's just say for this example, you're making $450 a month, 5 transactions a day, $450 a month from one ATM. Now, what does it cost you, right? To get one ATM up and running? Let's just talk about the big expenses, right? Obviously, there's LLC paperwork, right? But the biggest expense is the actual ATM machine. So your ATM machine is going to run you $2,700, depending on what model you get. Your router, it's going to give your ATM its internet connection, right? Is going to cost you, let's just say $150. And then maybe around $7 a month, right, for your internet. So far, your all-in cost is $2,750. Okay, your all-in cost is $2,750. Now let's just see what your return on investment is, right, for the industry standard of 5 transactions a day. I'm going to need my phone for this. So check this out. If your all-in cost is $2,750, you're making $450 a month. What you want to do is you want to do 450 divided by your initial all-in investment, $2,750. So if we do the math, 450 divided by 2,750 comes out to 16.36% ROI. You're making a 16% return. Here's the best part. You're making a 16% return monthly on your money. Monthly. Let me just say monthly. Now, let's multiply this times 12 because we got to see what your annual ROI is. So if we do the math times 12, you're making 196% ROI annually from just one ATM. This is just from one ATM. Now, I want you to imagine, right now, you have 2 ATMs, 3 ATMs, 4 ATMs, 5 ATMs, right? So if you guys can see that, you do 450 times 5 times 6 ATMs times 7 ATMs. You can see how this business can blow up pretty quickly, right? A challenge is that you have to learn how to do this business the right way. The challenge is finding locations that need a cash incentives, right? Speaking and negotiating with business owners, right? Avoiding getting stuck into shitty deals, right? So this is why I love the ATM business, because it started with one ATM. And I'll be the first one to tell you is that you're not going to get wealthy with one ATM. Absolutely not. This is a volume-based business. But you want to think of it like this, is that each and every single time you place an ATM, you want to think of it as you're buying a little bit more of your time back. Because the great thing about this business, right, is that it takes a couple hours a month to manage. Now, as you get a bigger route, right, and you start growing and scaling up, it takes a lot more time, right, but you're making more income. But if you're starting out with just one ATM, 2 ATMs, 3 ATMs, 4 ATMs, 5 ATMs, right, it's only really going to have you spend a couple hours a month to manage that. Now, if you're making 450, let's just say $500 per ATM a month, right, and it's only taking you a couple hours a month to make that, you are basically buying your time back, because now you don't really have to be there to generate that type of income. So look, hopefully this breaks it down of why we love the ATM business model, why this business model has thrived for so long, and why it makes sense to start an ATM business in 2026. So look, if you guys want more information exactly how to do that, my team has helped over 2,100 individuals start and scale their very own. We streamline the entire process, right? I'm not going to convince you to do this business. If I have to convince you to do this business, this probably isn't the right business for you. But for me, it was a no-brainer. So hopefully you guys see that as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the inside.